Capitol Hill. Okay. Now, we know now that Senator Reid, it was just bad timing. He was not digging at the president by any stretch, but they're not happy. Why not?
Well, clearly, they have wanted other ways to tax, and that's why they had the vote on Saturday to limit the tax cuts and raise taxes on people who I think are the ones who would hire and get this economy going again. And I understand the frustration, but I think the president is making a bold move, and I applaud him for it. It's tough with his base to do what he's doing, but I think that he's right.
You know, the tax cuts that are extended for the wealthy as well till 2012 really only are about 8% of the total cost. And I do know that all of a sudden there's a big concern about deficit and spending more money that we don't have. We don't know how we're going to pay for this yet, do we?
Well, I would say there are ways to pay for it, like freezing federal hiring right now. It's the size of government that is costing us so much and going into the deficit. So there is a way to pay for this. But let me just say on the other side that if this spurs the economy and jobs are created, which is what we hope it will do, then revenue will increase, as it did when President Kennedy cut taxes and President Reagan cut taxes, and even after the Bush tax cuts of 2001 and 2003. Revenue increased, it didn't decrease, so it didn't add to the deficit.
Do you think that Democrats are disappointed that the president is moving towards the middle? I think for a very long time, everyone presumed he was going to stay on the very left side with them. And now we're starting to see some compromise. Could that be part of this?
Well, it could be, but certainly, at least in the White House, it seems that they heard the message of the election of this past November. And if the Democrats in Congress didn't hear the message, at least someone in the Democratic Party has, and is saying the people want a change in the way government is run. They want the deficits to come down. They don't want more taxes. They want less spending.
Right. So are you surprised at the outrage between the Democrats? Because I certainly am. And really, they got a lot of stuff. We got tax cuts for the wealthy, even though that's not what they wanted. We did see the middle class tax cuts extended. We also saw a payroll tax that we weren't expecting at all. Some cuts for businesses. It seems to me all good all around, and yet very much anger among them.
Well, I think the ones who are talking certainly are talking loudly, but I think you're going to see a number of Democrats who are looking at the electorate in 2 years and knowing what just happened, who are going to be a little different. I think they're going to say, I hear what the people of America have said, and they want less government, they want less taxes, and they certainly want us to change the way business is done in Washington. So I think there are Democrats who are listening, and I think the ones who are speaking are out of touch.
Senator, do you think the president is one of the Democrats that are listening as well? Because it seems to me that if all goes well and this gets passed, he's got a pretty decent shot at 2012 re-election.
Well, I certainly think the president is taking steps in the right direction. This is helping small businesses know that for the next 2 years, they will know what their expenses are on the tax side. The other thing that I think we need to handle, and I hope the president will start moving in this direction, and that is the cost of health care per employee. That's the next thing that's going to drop on our businesses. When I talk to small businesses in Texas, they are concerned about the cost of this health care bill, and they are concerned about tax increases. Now, if we can fix tax increases for 2 years, that will be a major step forward. And if we can do something that will allay the fears in health care reform, then I think we will be really going in the right direction.
And quickly, because I know we have to let you go, but there's a 13-month extension of jobless benefits. I mean, at some point we have to stop this, don't we, and move on to job creation?
Well, we're hoping that the tax cuts will spur job creation. I think we're going to have to do something about the cost of the health care bill as well to really close the loop there. But I think if we can put a freeze on federal hiring so that the rise in government increased costs will be brought back down. And if we will address the huge health care costs in the health care reform bill that is scaring the dickens out of our small businesses, then I think we will see hiring, which then hopefully brings down unemployment, and we will have a whole lot less in this unemployment continuation and the costs of that.
Yeah, amen. Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison, thank you so much for taking time to be with us today.
Thank you very much.
All right, meanwhile, the anger among Democrats seems to be out of control, with congressional aides and White House staffers trading barbs.